Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summit Season 5 here on the official stream. I am Sulpan, joined on the desk today by Kral, and today we got Final Boss going up against World Soup Center here as the draft gets kicked off. Kral, what are your thoughts here? First couple bands coming out, and looks like we got some targeted already picks here going towards that top lane with Jax.
Yeah. To be honest, this is my first time watching Summit Esports. I'm not gonna lie, I'm honest here. But from what I heard from I heard it's going to be pretty top centric for the World Soup Center. And then Final Boss, they're more centered around the ADC, and I think we just see it from the bans. The focus on the Jinx that is pretty B1able ADCs right now. And then obviously the Jax ban. Kind of we see the same type of respect in Worlds, even from like for champions like players like Ben. So it's definitely just banning more comfort. I think the meta right now.
Yeah, that's kind of been the name of the game in Summit here. Taliyah is signature pick of Ryan, the jungler for Final Boss. But then those two bot lane hyper-scaling picks off the table here. Of course, there's still other options. I mean, not exactly in meta, but there is the Twitch, and Goblin's been showing kind of a different face so far in Summit this season, locking in things like Kai'Sa and Kalista. But it's Skarner B1 here, was picked up last week also by Ryan, so most likely going into the jungle.
Yeah, Skarner itself, it's been like just such a high prio pick. Like it's just so strong. You can build it like a bruiser, get a few tank items later into the game. You can just go full tank. The champion is just like in general really flexible with the build. Plus, he's just like super strong. He doesn't really have any like specific weaknesses throughout the game. Maybe like the really early game, which why we see Xin Zhao Piggy getting picked against like in pro. The answers are Jhin Ahri, which are I don't know how good they are. Jhin is pretty low mobility. Ahri definitely works pretty well into the Skarner if they pair it up with like let's say a stronger early game jungler like maybe a Jarvan, maybe a Xin Zhao to get the lanes going early before Skarner gets to scale into the mid game.
It really feels like these are just kind of some nice early safe-ish blinds for kind of the bottom half of the map here for World Soup Center. Just gonna have the Jhin ult over the top of the entire fight, and Ahri looking to set up picks for the top jungle duo in Owen and Hootie. World Soup also pretty dang good at the Ahri.
Yeah, and then the Ashe I think is actually a good answer because like with them picking Ahri, having Skarner, Ashe provides a lot of safety with the vision, with the slows. It also provides a like a initial engage. You don't have to like kind of force it every time it's Skarner. You can maybe look for picks with the Ashe ult. So she gives a lot of flexibility and like just opens up Skarner and how he wants to play the map. Now, right now, it's like really hard for World Soup Center to pick and engage in bot side. And without any engage, it's going to be really rough to play into them. We see this in Zhao.
Yeah, Xin Zhao locked in here. Although, I mean, I'm looking across the three first champs here locked in for World Soup Center, and I'm not seeing a lock that can actually get through the Skarner's health bar. So, I mean, at this point from Final Boss, I'm expecting them to kind of lean some more bans into top lane at this point and just lock out the tank shredders. Lock out Owen's Gwen, get rid of his, maybe his Aatrox, just because he's had such a pop-off performance on it. I think 17-0 last week on the Aatrox to carry the team to a win. We'll see what they end up going for here. I'm not sure if there's a lot of picks left really to deal with the Skarner.
Yeah. If, like, especially for World Soup Center, if they're mainly centered around their top side, I wouldn't hate to see, I mean, like on the R5, maybe a split pusher. I don't really know how much Oven likes Fiora or Camille, but it kind of gives them the flexibility of like, okay, it is looking pretty rough right now for the team fights. So if they can kind of like force the map state to like more of a side lane focus, they can play Xin Zhao Ahri on one side, Oven on the other side with a counter pick. And they have Jhin, which is like pretty safe, pretty long range ADC, so he can provide value from pretty far away. I think that would be a good way to kind of approach the draft from here on out, because if they try to force the team fight comp into the Skarner, into the Braum, where like you're running into them, it is really risky, and it's definitely not going to look that good on the on the Summoner's Rift.
Most likely gonna get our support here on R4. Sloth gonna have to find some kind of answer here into Ashe Braum. Super difficult lane to match up to, especially when you're trying to punch up into Goblin and Alterus. We'll see what she ends up locking in. But the bans locked out. It is actually going to be the Volibear and Vladimir.
Oh.
And really targeted bans here from World Soup Center, actually. They ended up banning out the Hui, which is something that Asuna has been playing a lot top lane.
Interesting. The Hui top is... You said Hui or Silas top?
Hui top.
Oh, that is... I guess it's just like an uninteractive lane, but they do lock into Bard. Which will help, again, the side lane pressures, all that, really roam heavy champion. I just hope they don't put this Jhin in a bad spot where he's getting dove on cooldown, especially when the enemy team is like really centered around their bot lane. We see the Yasuo Kennen. This can be like kind of flexed in a sense. Like you can play Kennen mid, you can play Yasuo top, and we see the Gangplank. That's a ballsy pick. I'm not gonna lie.
The Gangplank is Owen's champion. This is what typically gets banned out against him in the first 3. Highest mastery, I think, by a mile. Extremely professional of the champion, but I kind of like the look here from Final Boss, where they end up locking 2 champions that can be flexed in between Hamia and Asuna. And to me, even could see a lane swap come out in this game, depending on what they want to go for. But there's your champs. I mean, pretty strong identities here for both teams. Heavy team fighting looks here for Final Boss. But if Owen ends up getting ahead on this Gangplank, I mean, he's got the carry potential for sure, and he can make this game work.
Yeah, definitely. Like, as you said, if the Gangplank is ahead, then the game turns into this, like, Final Boss wants the team fight. But, like, World Soup Center can just say, okay, we have Ahri, we have Gangplank, both on sides. We have Xin Zhao, which is good for picks on the side lanes. We have Bard, again, really great for picks on the side lane. So, like, until Gangplank is that, like, team fight monster, you can pretty much just say, we're just going to let him scale, play with Ahri, Xin Zhao, kind of just slow the game down. Don't let their bot lane really do whatever they want, because this is a really strong bot side skirmish like draft that they have right now.
And we are going to go to a brief delay here while we get loaded into Champion Select. Going to take some time to get through the spectator delay, but stay tuned. We'll be right back here on the Rift with Game 1 of Final Boss versus World Soup Center. Stay tuned. And it's week 2 here in Summit. Final boss versus the World Soup Center. We're hopping out onto the Rift. Potentially some early level 1 shenanigans coming out as 3 members of Final Boss are headed up towards the top lane. See if they can get a surprise look onto Owen here.
I think you mentioned the lane swap, I think?
Not on stream, but there is potential for it. We saw it once earlier today. And I mean, I feel like I've heard Goblin talk about wanting to lane swap into stronger top laners before.
I will say they have 4 TPs just to play for this.
Oh.
Like they're fully committed to this whole like lane swap. They're just gonna try to cheese the gangplank, try to get a kill after he dies, TP the soul laner to bot. They will probably going to, because the funny thing is, if they don't pay attention, they will try to just crash the wave so that they lose the XP. But if they crash wave 1, then you can TP and get the XP, so they can't really dive you anymore because you're gonna hit level 2 early. I've never seen it with 4 TPs though. That is kind of crazy.
Certainly
Imagining that like your ADC and your support will, they're not going to have their like fighting summoners for the rest of the game. But I also don't know how much they would need it, especially like considering the enemy team is not looking to teamfight here. Owen.
And here it is. Owen getting tagged by that winner's bite. 3 stacks to go. Will get stunned up. Orange first is leveled. Just advantage trying to get over this wall, but a flash forward from Goblin will find the kill. First blood taken by Ulturus with a final Q punch. And Owen does fall here in the top lane. Does have the teleport to get back, but could end up missing a little bit of EXP. So we might run into a little bit of a spectator bug here.
I'm assuming they might have paused after the cheese.
We might need to go to a brief break while we wait on some technical issues here in the Riot Client Classic. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. after a brief interruption, we're already into a fight here on the bottom lane as Alters looks to go onto Hootie. Will not be at the stun. Goblin actually gonna get claimed here as Alters gets knocked back by Hootie's ultimate. One more auto will do it. Bird Person will claim it as we tie up the score to 2-2 here. As one kill has happened in the mid lane here on the Yasuo, it looks like. Dragon potentially next on the table, but just gonna be a recall here from Hootie, and map will be reset.
Yeah, it looks like the kill on Yasuo was an execution because Ahri doesn't have a kill, so they have 3 deaths, 2 kills on the scoreboard. From the looks of it, it started off as a great early game, but as soon as we loaded in, doesn't look as good. I'm surprised Owen is doing as good as he is, being ahead in CS after the early game cheese that happened. But this is kind of what happens when you take 4 TPs. Like, soul lanes are fine, but bot lane, every 2v2 you take, you're going to be down a barrier, an ignite, and TP, especially pre-10 minutes, is just such a long cooldown ability that you don't really even get to abuse it as much all around the map. So, objective-wise, looks like the blue side they were able to grab the grubs. The first dragon is yet to be taken. But blue side might be looking forward to it, especially with the bot lane power they have right now.
And grubs, I believe, were also claimed at some point here by one of these teams. Which managed to sneak up and grab that one. Blue side managed to pick it up. Yeah. So now, Dragon on the docket here for this team as Hamia looks to come on down. They got lanes pushed in, and it should be a nice, easy pickup here for final boss.
Yeah. It is a good look from the soup. What was it? What was the team name? World Soup.
Soup Center.
Oh, Center. Okay. World Soup Center. Just off the fact that the Xin Zhao is able to affect the early game. He's ahead in CS, ahead in KP. He's looking good. Giving a few objectives over. Kind of happens when the enemy team does grab some prio lanes. But yeah, I think if he can just kind of create a lead. Regardless of the objectives, it should be looking okay. We see that Jhin is going for IE first buy, which is really expensive.
The bold first look here in the bottom lane. And certainly it looks like kind of lane's going as expected, even through the cheese. Owen up in CS here, has the lane pushing towards him, happily just farming up now against Suda. On the bottom side, Goblin, of course, off to a CS lead of his own against his Jhin. Should be hitting that first spike, or that first item spike way before this Jhin, especially considering the expense of this. The item, the Odin flashing in, will try and get the burn onto Suda, and it will just barely not be enough. The ultimate does come through. Owen claims one solo kill up on the top lane, his first of the game.
Yeah, and Suda kept his flash. Great outplay from Owen. I think he's gonna come back. Oh,
Arrow does connect here.
No orange.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have the orange on cooldown just yet. A few autos will connect here as Ashe continues to find some slows onto Owen. A few more autos will do it, but Hootie has arrived here to reinforce the fight. Will be tagged for the winner's bite. Will go in through the stun. Goblin now cast a kite back here against Owen. Needs to be very careful about the damage that could come through. Wind becomes lightning. Will connect as well. Dashing on in onto Goblin. The ultimate from Braum goes wide, and Hootie will just claim a kill there onto Goblin. Now Ryan dashing into the fight will try and make something happen here in the top lane as Hootie needs to get out of this fight, but will get stunned up. And a slam from the Skarner will claim another kill here in the top lane as Sloth looks to come up to the fight as well, but just nothing left in the tank for World Soup Center, and they got to get out of here.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay from the Braum. I think they could have maybe gotten if they kill onto the Owen as well. But in the end, it is still... I think they're negative on the play, but they do get the grubs. So it will end up being worth it if they can kind of turn these grubs into a few more plays before they expire. I feel like the grubs would have been such a good win con for the World Soup Center, but they're not looking for it. The TP comes through. It denies the flank. I guess
both bot laners able to TP in the bottom lane here, and now has the opportunity to try and hunt for some of these plates with those 6 grubs, so able to quickly get back down to the bottom lane. No plates taken just yet by Goblin, so hasn't really had the opportunity to really shove it in this tower just yet. But with the 6 grubs, they now have many opportunities. Look for a pick in one of these lanes and just push down some extra plates before they go down in 2 minutes. Oh,
Oh,
we'll
the
get stunned
bar
up
really
here.
comes through.
Don't know if they have what it takes to take this one down. Bird Person will get tagged by the arrow. Now needs to kite back against the Braum, who's just looking for some stuns. We'll find out on the sloth. Now forced to flash back out underneath the tower. Will in a snare to follow, but here comes the curtain call. 1, 2 will not do it. The friendship test almost connects there for the bottom lane, but both forced to flash there, burning all summoners in the bottom lane. Bird Person only one hanging on here with the flash.
Yeah, we see Xin Zhao and Ari also in the bot side jungle. I wonder if they're gonna look for a dive or something. That Braum
Oh, it's a
comes back.
slam! They were just camping in the bush, waiting for him to step up, and Bird Person will fall, not able to burn the flash in time to escape the Braum ulti. But now Goblin's in trouble because Hootie has found his way over the wall here, and there's a Gangplank ult as well. Owen will claim the kill. Hootie gonna look for one more here. Ultras has no one to jump to, no minions, no friends. Will get smited for the kill as Hamia in the middle lane looking for a fight, but there's also a fight in the top lane. Action everywhere across the map. Owen no ulti, no remaining health as one auto will come through. Ryan claiming the shutdown in the top lane. Action across the map here, and it's hard to say who's really coming out on top just yet.
The gold is dead even right now. And interesting enough, like both sides focusing on the strengths that you mentioned before. Yasuo goes back in.
Dashing straight into the fight, World Soup forced to ult and just run away from this one. Gonna be bleeding health bars here in the middle lane, potentially opening up an opportunity for that dragon in just under a minute here. Hamia once again looking in. We'll get the knockup onto Bird Person as a teleport does get channeled into the middle lane. There's 4 people stacked up here. Will they go for the fight? Everyone's so low. Owen gets tagged up, but will immediately orange out. Now in the middle of the fight, dashing on forward. There has no orange here, but the stun does not connect onto Owen just yet. Brock does come through to land a nice group slow, just continuing to fire off some poke here in the middle lane, but no one will fall just yet. Health bars certainly favor final boss right now as they'll look to rotate towards this dragon.
Yeah, and a lot of TPs, as we know, in this game. He also needs to be careful here.
Yeah, Hamia in a little bit of trouble here. We'll try and kite around the wind wall, but won't be able to block any of those barrel chains, and eventually gets taken down there. Bird Person claiming a kill. Dragon just now spawning here, so there is a chance for contest as Hootie finds Goblin all alone on the flank here. Will get stunned up though. Team is looking to reinforce as they all sprint towards this Xin Zhao. Will be forced to burn the ulti here to avoid some of that damage. Knockup does come through. A few more autos will do it, and Hootie does go down. The hubris of trying to solo the Goblin when the team is right behind him there. Not going to be able to find this Ashe in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Ideally, if Owen can maybe look for this top side turret, it is going to be a good pickup here for them. Yasuo does have TP, so Owen is not even going for it. So for the early game, it is pretty even game state. Like there isn't a considerable gold lead, but when you look, all 4 objectives getting picked up by final boss side, they are definitely in a better position to eventually win this game. They're getting close to the soul point, which I think is Chemtech soul. Especially in these team fights that they want to look, it is going to be really helpful for their team fighting tools.
I think the big win here for World Soup Center is that they have the kills on mostly the right people. We got 2 kills on the Skarner here, 1 kill on the Braum. So some of the gold distribution, I think, while it is mostly even, does favor World Soup Center for the moment. So they can even that out. But like you said, the objective certainly to come to play here. As Chemtech Soul would be really nice to have, especially on the Skarner Ashe, just able to tank up and do a little bit more damage before they end up going down, inevitably to the dives.
Exactly. So the next objective is Herald. World Soup Center are looking to pick up their first objective of the game. There's no one answering this Ashe right now in the bot side. So unless they dive this cannon, which looks like a really high possibility right now.
Arnold has come out as Sloth is looking to run away from this one. Hamia gonna find a tag here. The snare does not quite connect. Ultra's now under threat. Needs to get out of this one. Hamia gonna throw out the wind wall to try and block some of that damage. Knockup does come through onto 3. A nice disengage. They're gonna pull 3 more back as World is forced to ult out of this one. Maybe looking for one more as the charm does connect, but has overextended. Suta on the flank, able to pick that one up. And now Hamia, healthiest member here, gonna be forced to try and clear out the wave kind of on his own. Someone gonna help out a little bit. They're looking potentially to... No one engaged just yet, as those health bars are a little bit too high for Hamia to want to take that ultimate.
Yeah, they still have the cannon and Yasuo ultis, so if a fight does break out eventually, it is not looking too bad for the side of final boss. Owen had a really great barrel, but he doesn't have enough damage right now to kill off people right now. but eventually when he scales, he like the team fights are looking closer than what I expected they would look like, especially with the differences in both of these team comps.
Yeah, I mean, next objective fight over is this Rift Herald Dragon not spawning for quite a bit. As we see a few pings from Final Boss towards this one. We'll see if they want to try and pick this one up. Do manage to stop the recall from Owen here, so he's a little undecided on if he wants to try and run out and contest this Herald. But the vision does come through. They've disengaged from Herald, and no objective will be taken just yet. Oh, Ryan looking for the stun on the Sloth. Will connect. What a drift there, as the secondary stun almost comes through before that portal does get off. Sloth able to find the escape, though, in the end, as World Soup has some help from Hootie here in the bottom lane. Hamiya looking for the fight. Gonna miss the tornado, unfortunately, and will be forced to flash. Follow flash by Hootie will knock up the Yasuo, and not long for this World. Hamiya gonna get one more knockup, gets the shield, and World Soup will be forced to flash to survive, but Hootie does eventually claim that kill, as now the opposite side of the map, Owen under threat here, will manage to dodge the Winter's Bite for now, does get stunned up, does have the orange, and it does have the flash, so able to survive here on the top lane. Nice cross-map play, but unable to find the kills here in the top.
Yeah, they will try to get the turret, but I feel like the first turret is gonna go down in the bot side. We're TPing to mid lane. Okay. It is really weird. It's just like they're doing this in a sense that like they're actually not giving a lot of CS over to like they're not wasting any top CS while roaming. So like I'm almost inclined to say it's not that bad that they have 4 TPs. Oh.
It's an engage from Sloth. They're maybe looking for something here. Will not connect the stun. Barely missing there on the timer. And now be ulted back. Punishment for Sloth here. They're going to try and get over the wall, but no. She will go down. Ryan on a killing spree on the Skarner.
Yeah, and I feel like slowly we're seeing the power of the Skarner kind of come through. A lot of HP. Even though he doesn't have a lot of resistances. He's still like just really beefy. Heals up with the grasp. The shield from the W. He can stall the team fight for a really long time with his ultimate as well. So Skarner is starting to become an issue. Although I will say Hootie has been doing a really good job of like punishing these side lanes and trying to get the game going. But slowly and slowly I feel like we're going to see the presence of the Skarner in these team fights a little bit more. So the World Soup Center, they need to like kind of try to push their lead in the side lane, help Owen finish a couple items. Make sure he's not getting bullied by the Ash Prom every time he tries to get like walk up for a wave.
We'll defend the mid tower for now. Sloth looking to play that defense like you mentioned. Allow him to farm up here nice and safely. Third dragon is spawning. Let's see if they want to try and contest this one. Hootie and World Soup on the flank here. They do have a nice positioning for this one. Yasuo does have the TP up there in the top lane. Hamiya could be looking to join this fight at any moment, but we'll be content to push out the wave for now. As they rotate forward towards the dragon, they will actually pull this one right now. Looking to try and start this one up. Get some small amount of damage onto it as Final Boss is kind of forced to walk in here. Sloth gonna get tagged up by the Winter's Bite, but we'll be able to dash out over the wall with that portal. Owen looking to set up some barrel chains here onto the side, but they're going to get the smite. The dragon's been given over. Now Ryan's stuck in the pit. Brahm's stuck here in the front line. We'll be dashing back to the Ash, but the ultimate from Owen does manage to connect for now. Ryan in the back line, not going to do a whole lot though. He's only engaged. Nice ultimate from Suda. Finds two, stuns him up, and they just get taken down immediately there by the backline damage. Hootie's 1v1 versus Ryan in the pit here for now. We'll see if any assistance can come through. Manages to get the flash over the wall. Ignite will not be enough to take them down. And now Sloth 1v1 Goblin here on the side. Hootie, a little stuck there in the pit, does get stunned up by the cannon, but no more kills come through. They get the dragon, but they trade one kill out for it. Owen at the top lane, Owen almost goes down there, but able to orange out of the knockup from Hootie and just walk out of that one.
I was going to mention, like, that whole team fight down there was a 4v5. I think Owen, like, TP'd back so that he could defend the inhibitor turret. Like, all this was happening while the Yasuo was able to push top, get tier 2, and I feel like if he eventually TP'd to the team fight, it could have been a wipe. He did decide to stay. Owen was forced to burn his teleport, so they have this timer where one of the TPs are not available and they have 4 TPs, so I wonder if we're ever going to see like quadra TP to just on Baron and then just run it.
I think they absolutely could. I mean, they have the damage for it. Double Kraken Slayer locked in. I mean, you got, stun in the mid lane here. Bird Person gonna try and flash out of this one, but too much damage from Goblin will take them down. Nice knowledge of the damage there, and burning both summoners. No flash, no barrier on this Jhin will make them extremely vulnerable in the next fight.
No. I'm also surprised that this is my first time seeing a Malignance buy on a cannon. And like I can see the ultimate ultimate cooldown reduction, but the fact that it builds out of like Lost Chapter and gives you mana and stuff, I don't know how good it is. But he did do a lot of damage last team fight, so obviously he knows something about.
Oh, stunning through the portal, able to pull Bard out of that one. Sloth goes very, very low, but kind of only the target here in the fight. They're using a lot to try and kill Sloth. Not able to find the kill either. And he'll be forced out of this one as Ryan now 1 versus 2. Will try and go in. Not with the ulti, unfortunately. Not going to find any damage. Ryan going down very, very low here. Will it be enough? There it is. But here comes the Kennen ultimate. Stuns up Owen. So much damage does come through as Jhin ultimate over the top. Curtain Call. Not going to find too much damage here in the fight. Bard on the way back to this one. World Soup has burned the ultimate, but they're not going to find anything else here. It looks like World Soup Center coming out worse for wear in most of these fights.
Yeah. It feels like they're forcing. Oh,
Hootie has walked into the bush. Charm blocked by the wind wall. Hamiya got the one out just in time to prevent the damage from coming through, and they find one more kill here through the Fog of War, just making a nice play here.
Yeah, and we see where like the struggles of World Soup Center's comp come in. Even when the enemy team like overextends, like Ryan missed his ult, definitely like was overextended in that bot lane, but as soon as you try to walk into the Braum, into the Cannon, into the Ashe, just like kinda, it's just so rough. You don't really have a frontliner that can tank that much damage. You don't have a reliable CC to play off of other than maybe Ahri Charm. So it all, it's just so hard for them to realistically team fight against the team comp that Final Boss has. And Final Boss, like props to them, they haven't really given any opportunity to Owen that like, oh, I'm just going to split push, grab a lead, and then he can still affect the team fights with the ulti, but they never give him the angle.
It's looking hard for him to try and really get some big, powerful barrel combos off. I think he had a really good one there onto Ryan. But I mean, you need to be getting backline access. Your team does not win the front to back, and kind of shown in that fight there that yes, they took down the Skarner, but once Suta gets into the fight, it's so hard for them to actually find any kind of answer to that. They don't have any kind of disengage other than this Bard ultimate, and it's a huge risk in throwing that down and potentially locking up your teammates right in front of the entire lineup of Final Boss.
Yeah. And like when we look at the items, we see that Sterak's is finally finished for Ryan, so he's going to have that safety for in these team fights. A huge shield, some tenacity that would help with the stuns that might come from Bard, Jhin, and the charm from the Ahri. 2 items completed, Kraken and Phantom Dancer for both the Yasuo and the Ashe. And then we already see the Knight's Vow completed for the Braum as well. So even if they can get on top of this Ashe, it is going to be really hard for them to burst them through the Guardian, Braum Shield, and the Knight's Vow. So this Dragon is a soul, will take Final Boss to the soul point.
They're not willing to commit any resources to try and face check these bushes just yet. Bird Person may be in trouble, but we'll be able to be safe for now. Keeping on these flank wards as well. Suda does have the teleport. Could be looking for a big flank on this Kennen. As Ryan's just soloing the Dragon right now. We're going to look for a pick on Hamiya here. Owen going a little bit low, missing the barrel chains. Gonna make it very, very difficult. Does proc the Guardian with the Bard, but Sloth under threat. Needs to get out of this fight as Ryan is flashed over the wall looking for the fight. We'll find the ultimate onto World Soup, pulling him back. World Soup does go down. Here comes the teleport from Kennen, does get into the back line. Owen goes extremely low. One more auto will do it, but they just can't find it. Knockup from Hootie saves his teammate, but will it be his own demise? No. Able to get underneath the tower just in time. There's a teleport now coming into mid lane as Hamiya will regroup with the team, and surely this will be a slow point going over to the final boss.
No. To be honest, I think if they were able to kill Owen there, that was definitely a Baron call. But Owen does manage to live. He is getting closer to his IE. He did go for double Negatron Cloak, so he is getting stronger. But again, there isn't much more time left. The soul will be available for Final Boss to pick up in 5-minute time. So they really need to let Owen just finish his items. If he does, maybe they can look for some maybe look a little bit more competitive in these team fights. But until then, this cannon is providing so much more work comparatively.
Ryan in a bit of a fight here as Owen does arrive. They're gonna get the stun onto him from long range. Bird person from downtown will find that one, and they'll just get a kill onto the jungler here. Baron is an option, but very difficult to do as they do have the lower DPS comp here. Hoodie's going to look for some more enemies here in the fight, as Altruist will dash forward to tank up the snare. Might be their own demise, flashing out now as they'll stun up Goblin underneath the tower. Perfect ultimate from Slows to find that kill. Goblin now here underneath the tower. I believe he flash forward from Bird person to try and find the kill, but just barely not enough damage. Almost able to tag him up with that last shot. Now it's going to be Suda under threat. Will he charm forward into the team? Now it's not looking so good as Owen does manage to claim a shutdown. That's going to be IE coming up quick, and now the Baron is definitely in this team's sights.
Yeah, a lot of overextension. Ashe does greed her flash, if I didn't see wrong. Like, I think it was available during the fight, and then it ends up like Braum getting picked, and then they use the Bard ulti, get on the turret, and it's just like kind of a chain of deaths. For
You know, 1 versus 5 here, gonna try and walk up, but he's all alone. Ashe has finally arrived at the fight with that teleport. Baron going very low here, gonna get some slows over the top. Ryan trying to walk forward to get the vision on the Baron. Will not be able to find it though, as there's just 5 people here. They're 5 members strong. Baron full regens. They do manage to stall him out for now, and it's looking just too hard for them to take this thing down. Not able to complete the objective, but they get a pick, and they buy themselves some more time for Owen to scale up.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to use the Impale. I thought if Skarner was able to get the ulti off, they could have had a pretty good team fight there. But again, he is beefy, but this is where this build of Skarner starts to fall off, where you only have HP, and there's a lot of damage coming from the other side of the map, and he is not able to tank just enough. He even has Ionian boots, so most of this AD damage is like almost as if it's true.
Sloth is looking for something?
He burned the Ashe flash, so
Okay, Sloth pushing forward here against Ultras. Owen on the side here does manage to find Goblin with an auto. A few more will take him down. Shutdown does go over to Bird person, as now Owen in a lot of trouble here. Tornado barely does not connect, and now the curtain call over the top. Ryan under trouble, does manage to land a 3-man ultimate knock up onto Owen. Hamiya looking for the kill, gets knocked up by the Xin Zhao, will claim a shutdown, but goes down themselves. 1 for 1 there on that exchange, but Suited now forced out. They managed to take down 3 members once again, and they're looking again at the Baron with Ryan being down.
Yeah, and there isn't a lot of TPs that, like, Yasuo doesn't have it, Ashe doesn't have it, so even if they spawn, they will not be able to join back into the team fight as fast. If I'm final boss, you just fix sideways and try to maybe make a play on the soul, because they're just getting on map dying, and we see from all these fights, Suda is down close to 100 CS. There's a 55 CS gap in jungle, and I think it is showing this Xin Zhao is much more tankier. He's able to like just take so much damage in the front line, especially with the Randuins. So until the Skarner finishes like his tank item, I feel like these fights are looking a little bit rough. Owen, especially with the Gangplank passive that you get from just killing minions. Oh, Hoodie?
Face checking here, gonna get tagged up by that stun. Nice ultimate from Sloth for the disengage, but the arrow comes out from Goblin to stun up Hoodie once again. Gangplank ultimate over the top, that's teleport coming on in from the side. Sloth looking for the fight. Alright, so you have Suda! Massive flash ultimate from the cannon, lands onto 3. So much damage comes through, and now Hoodie's gonna try and turn this one back around. Hamiya and Suda so low, but an amazing knockup! Perfect timing for that one to come through. Hamiya will get shut down, and now one more will fall here as Owen is on the side. Does go down, only the Bard and Xin Zhao remaining for the side of World Soup Center, but a massive fight here for final boss, and at a critical time they can set up vision around this dragon and might have time to take it before the whole team is able to respawn and reclaim this part of the map.
A lot of hero plays coming from the side of final boss. First Suda with the flash ulti, and then towards the end of the fight, Yasuo finds a 3-man ulti, and even though he goes down, he takes 2 with himself down. So, and they are able to kill Owen since he was left alone in the front line. Really good looks, but now they don't have the flash ulti from Suda. Suda does have ulti back up. They might not expect him to have the cannon ulti back, so you need to be careful. They are going forward.
It's probably
Hoodie
does manage to land it onto Hoodie, who cleanses it off.
Mikhails?
I think it was Mikhails from the side. Here comes Sloth with the Bard ulti to stall out some time, but will fall in the end. Hoodie goes down, and Suda showing us what's up with the Malignant's build. As the cooldown, like you said, very unexpected there to be up.
Yeah.
Curtain Call will come over the top, but that should be Soul. Like,
Oh, the Astralty stops
options.
it. Yeah. Bird person tried to steal the dragon with his ulti, but Goblin, good awareness, sends out this crystal arrow, and he's able to stop it. Now, Soul is picked up. The fights are going to be more favored for the side of final boss, but we have seen when Kennen doesn't have the flash ulti, it is not looking as good. So if I'm final boss, it's like slow the game down, play on Kennen flash cooldown, and I feel like every single fight should be winnable if they have the flash on the Kennen.
Yeah, no objectives for a while now. Everything off the map, and we have to worry about the Elder. But like you said, Kennen Flash will be up for one of those objectives if they can manage to just hold on to it for those big objective fights. Just the question of will they feel the need to burn it on kind of smaller skirmish, or even just, I mean, they have big potential on this team. World Soup Center can go in with this Ahri, can go in with this Jhin, and try and find a pick onto this Kennen and force out that summoner spell before these critical objectives.
Yeah, and I will say, like, comparatively to other Souls, maybe, like, other than Cloud Soul, depending on the team comp, Chemtech isn't the worst Soul to play into. It could have been Mountain, it could have been Hextech, it could have been Infernal, which are way harder to play into, I feel like. But regardless, if it's a Dragon Soul, you probably just don't want to give it to the enemy team. Chemtech is not the worst one to deal with. We see Gangplank is getting close. Oh, a good stun.
Yeah, nice stun from Sloth. They're going to throw out the ultimate as well. Goblin
Oh my
under
god,
trouble.
he got half.
Massive Gangplank damage coming out. And now knock up onto Ryan. Will tag him up. Can they find the kill though? Skarner's very tanky. Will go down eventually to Bird Person. 2 down here. They got a nice advantage on the map. See what towers they can claim for themselves on these death timers.
Yeah. I feel like the main issue that Final Boss is running into right now is they're just getting picked like when they're like extended too much in mid lane. I think this is the second time that Ryan and Goblin got caught by the Bard ult, or like even if like just the pressure of Bard ulti and like side lanes moving over to them. Owen is pushing bot for potential tier 2. Hootie is here though. He also needs to be careful.
Oh, Hamia, nice dodges
Oh,
on the barrel
love it.
combos there. Gonna survive for now. Owen now actually hiding from
my god.
forward from the Yasuo will find the kill. Hootie now is on the run. Hamiya's a big threat with these threat item Yasuo. Gonna try and look for the knock-up here to find something back. The Chemtech Soul gonna start coming in clutch here. Knocks back Suda, but will be stunned up anyways. Hootie on the run. Can't find a way out and will eventually surely go down. The healing is almost enough, but Hamiya barely survives here in this fight. It was very close to a turnaround there from Hootie.
Yeah, he barely lives with the healing from that stance, and it was a nice attempt, but the Yasuo itself plays it really hard. I didn't expect him to do that much damage, but this is a kind of a glass cannon Gangplank build, so you do a lot of damage, you take a lot of damage. There's always a downside to it, unless he has the vision set up way better. It is going to be really rough. Good ulti.
Nice flash forward here for the double stun. There's just no way out for Bird Person. A nice pick here in the bottom lane. Really thought they were safe there, but against this Ash Arrow, Goblin finding shot after shot to make sure that no place on the map is safe. Sloth gonna look for an ultimate here to try and find something. Ryan dashing on in, but we've forced out as well. Nice safety look there on the Skarner. And otherwise a disengage here from Final Boss. They're happy to get away with that pick for free.
Yeah, and a lot of picks happening for both sides. Well, one side has the Ash ult, the Skarner ulti, the Ken ulti. Like, both sides need to respect the potential of getting picked.
Hootie be forced back
It
here
should
away from
be
the red
fine.
buff. There's reinforcements
Yeah,
much closer with this to this Zinzao than there is the Yasuo. Here comes World Sleep, gonna look for this charm. Nice block on the wind wall. Will smite away the red buff. Here comes the ultimate flash forward. Was burned by Suda there. Finds nothing and now forced away. Trying to get away from the fight here. World Sleep looking for the damage. Can't find it just yet. Will tag it on the backswing with that Q. A nice shot from World Sleep to find a kill. Still hasn't won ultimate charge off that reset, but they're not going to look for any more picks. But critically here, Kennen has burned Flash, and they will not have that for the major objectives. Now Ultra's getting stunned up. Flashing forward, it's World Tip looking for the charm. Will connect, will land the root. So much CC, and they'll find Ultras here on the side. Goblin now under trouble. Nice shot from Bird Person to find the snipe. And Ryan going to try and drop an ultimate here to find something, but we'll get nothing back. Baron claimed by World Soup Center here as they find a
they're calling
massive.
for the end.
They want the end. They want to find the game here. Hami is going to try to get back and pull off another 1 versus 9 play to make this one work. It does have the ultimate. No flash though. It's going to be extremely difficult for this Yasuo in melee range to clear out the wave.
I don't think they can end. There's for 10 seconds to Suda. He does have ulti backup too. Like, this might go really south. Oh.
Slow. Hami attacked up. Here it comes. They're going to land all the CC to chain this one down. And now the tower's under threat. Suda is up and available, but can't get into the fight. Here comes the ultimate. Will land some damage, but knocked up once again and just taken out. They're just too dang healthy. Tower gets melted by this team. Nexus exposed, and World Soup Center clutch up with the win.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes happening in the last fight. The missed flash ulti from Suda, and then just everyone kind of committing to that fight. Over a red buff, by the way.
Absolutely.
35 minutes in and losing the game off the red buff. I don't really see the angle because that Xin Zhao had a Randuin's, he had a Frozen Heart, he had Tabbies. That is a really hard Xin Zhao to kill, but Greed kind of kills them, and then they just like keep getting picked, and then eventually that was a really good call just to see the end. Because they were just calling for the Baron. Good Bard ulti at the end as well. So, well played to the World Soup Center. They did have me question them a couple of times in that game. But, I respect it though. 4 TPs, definitely a fresh, like kind of a different playstyle that I've never seen before.
Didn't work out from it in this game, but we'll see what the final boss comes up with in this next game. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with game 2. And we're back with Game 2 between Final Boss and World Soup Center. World Soup Center claiming Game 1 with some nice topside plays, splitting the map in a crazy way to close it out as they just found the perfect engage that they needed. Teleported into the base to claim the win. And draft, last game kind of went to expected. Certainly playing for topside in the game. World Soup Center playing hard around Owen's Gangplank. Opposite side, Final Boss playing hard around Goblin's Ash. And so we'll see if they want to change things up this time. So far, bands looking similar across the board. And Final Boss even opting once again for that blue side. Keep things as similar as possible.
Yeah, and to be honest, as far as the draft goes, I don't think we're going to see much differences just off the fact that I don't think there was a specific champ that like kind of ran through the game. Everyone had their moments. Both teams could have won. Everyone had their good moments and bad moments. So when you kind of put that into consideration, I think we're just going to see kind of similar, or for the most part, same bands. I wonder if like Final Boss is content with just like picking the same champions, because most of the time we see that like, oh, the comp wasn't the issue, we just misplayed it, and both teams end up picking the same champions. So
I could absolutely see it going that way. I mean, there might be like some slight deviation in the second round of bans, but they had a solid core in the first three. Skarner was certainly a threat all game. You don't want to give Goblin things like the Kog'Maw or the Jinx, and so those will remain banned away, it looks like. And like you said, yeah, there's a high chance of a run back here. I think that game was extremely close, and really at so many different points, it really felt like both teams, our other team had control over the game and was just flip-flopping back and forth on who is currently running it.
yeah, and especially like, I wonder if we see the same draft if they would go for TPs, but we're quite far from that to talk about that. The third ban, maybe they don't ban Jinx, maybe they look for something else. They do ban the Jinx. So we will see it here. Did they first pick Skarner last time, or was it Ash?
It was first
think it
pick
was
Skarner last
Skarner.
game, and then Ash Braum on blue 2 and 3. So yeah, no deviation just yet. Will they just run it back? I mean, Skarner looked really good in the early game. Ryan had some nice plays early on to try and get themselves a lead. Obviously, too many kills probably went into Skarner's
Ooh.
pocket, but it will be the Brand this time. A bit of a flex pick for this team, as could even be, I don't think they'd do it, but there's a chance they could swap Asuna into mid on this pick.
Brand is a champion that you can kind of play on 4 roles currently. He's a
Yeah.
really good bot laner. He was one of the best junglers, did get nerfed, so he's not as strong, but like he can still clear the camps, and once he hits 2 items, regardless of where Brand is, what stage of the game it is, Brand will hurt. So we see the Lee Sin, we see the Jhin. I
will
would
say-
be I would be happy to just send the Brand to the spot lane right now.
There's a chance. I just know that mages aren't typically in Goblin's champ pool. I
Oh.
think he's the kind of person who would want to play just a sit back and scale ADC, but we got 2 of those
And
banned
then
out.
take over the team fights after.
Yeah, so there's a chance. Most
Nami?
likely, we got the Nami and the King locked in here.
Well, maybe Nami Lucian then might be more.
We'd allow him to
of
kind of stomp it
this.
out, but we'll see. I mean, the Brand in theory as a first pick already just massively changes how this draft
Yeah.
should go. Outside of third person, who's really happy to just play the Jhin one more time.
Yeah, I will say. Oh, so it's either Skarner top and Brand somewhere else, or it's Brand jungle. What I was gonna say about Brand is like when you pick Brand, and then have Nami support, you can't really send the Brand to jungle because then you kind of left with like no CC setup, where you would have to be forced to maybe get a really weird pick in mid or top that might put you at a disadvantage. We do see the Seraphine though, so World Soup Center, they will have a little bit more agency if the side of Final Boss decide to like, okay, we're just gonna run at them. Plus, even if you're the ones, like if World Soup Center do want to run into the Final Boss side, it is way easier because of the extension on the Seraphine. Also, it can be flexed. We saw FlyQuest play it in the Worlds in mid lane. She's just really uninteractive in the lane. She one-shots waves, a lot of shields, a lot of CC, a lot of good follow-up, and a lot of damage. in these team fights from Seraphine, what she can bring to the table. So, and we see the also Ben as well. They shouldn't be worried about the Braum. I really like this draft. It all comes down to what they kind of finish it with. I would really like if World Soup Center did go for like an engaged support, and then maybe a bruiser top laner. And I feel like their team comp would round up really well, especially what Final Boss has drafted up until now.
I like the looks. I do also like that World Soup Center decided to just ban out the win shitters. They really don't want to give Hamia one of these picks, as he's played some amazing proficiency on that Yasuo, finding those few key kills onto Owen's Gangplank in that game. So I think they're happy with that ban. Hamia, being targeted here pretty heavily in this draft is...
No, it is Seraphine support. They do grab the Syndra. Now the issue might be like, where's your front line again? Because now you don't have the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao was able to bring a lot of tankiness purely off the fact that the Crescent Guard blocks all the damage that comes from a certain range. He was able to build full armor thanks to that. And this time around, you have the Lee Sin, much more vulnerable champion, and you don't really have a lot of frontline. And I don't think you want to slam your top laner on Poisoven, which is your carry champion, on just like an Ornn or Malphite or something.
Yeah, I think there's almost no chance they give away a tank. He would just refuse to play it. This will be... Wow, it actually will be Brand bot lane. This is something I haven't seen from Goblin pulled out in Summit before. I think I've only ever seen him play like these kind of hyper-scaling ADCs, so really changing up his champ pool this season. Brand's going to be going to the bot lane, and it'll be Asuna going top on the Sion, and whatever Owen decides to lock in here.
Maybe he played against it in solo queue and said this champ is broken. Okay, Set actually fixes it a little bit. It's a good matchup into Sion. It's even a good matchup even if like Final Boss decides, yeah, let's send Irelia top or something later into the game. So he won't like really struggle too much with either of them in the side lane. And obviously, especially having Skarner and Sion on the enemy team, a lot of beefy targets. Set ultimate does more damage the beefier the person you're ulting is. So there is like a lot of one-shot ability from Set. A really strong team fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It again comes down to if the jungler for World Soup Center, how much he can affect the early game, because Syndra is more of a scaling pick. You don't have a lot of gank set up in the bot side. You also don't have Prio in the bot side. And Sion is not the easiest target to kill consistently on the side lane. So I wonder how they're going to play. Final Boss was able to grab a lot of objectives early on last game. So if they're able to do this, I think their team comp is a lot more snowbally than last time. Irelia can really take over the game. Brand, when he's ahead, it's not like an Ashe. It is way scarier than an Ashe. Brand presses R right before he dies, he might win a team fight just by himself. So a little bit of a change, and I kind of like the adjustments that Final Boss made here.
Yes, the Final Boss not willing to run back that draft. They're going to change things up here in Game 2. And we will be going to a short delay here while we get loaded into the game, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Game 2 of Final Boss versus World Soup Center. And welcome back, Summit. It is World Soup Center off to a 1-0 lead in this series. We've loaded back onto the Rift. We've got our team comps locked on in. We'll see what they can do here in this game. As I think the surprise pick for me is still going to be Goblin here on the Brand in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Well, at least they have a single ignite this time. So it's looking a little bit more normal. On the other side, everything is looking pretty usual. It is Sai on top. Yeah, like both junglers, I think. My assumption would be like Lee Sin might look for a top side clear, just off the fact that like Sion is squishy early. Like that is like your one option of like kind of put him behind, and like if Seth does get a lead, he does kind of run over the Sion eventually. So it will be interesting to see what Hootie goes for as far as his clear, his choice of clear. I think both bot lanes are pretty hard to gank. Specifically, like the Nami, like one side Nami has the movement speed boost, and other side you have Seraphine shields. I wouldn't really look to force too much if I was either of these jungles. Mostly playing mid and top side.
Yeah, we should see a pretty big advantage come out here for Owen, as you already see him trading pretty heavily here onto Suta. Wants to make this lane as volatile as possible. So I think you're right on something with Lee Sin looking up top here. World Soup taking a bit of damage on their own, so both these lanes kind of go into as expected. Hootie's gone and done the Raptors into Krug, so he will be hovering topside, and if there's a look, I'm sure he'll take it.
Yeah, he might just look for like a single quadrant into the top side gank. Just off the fact like Skarner's not that great at invading. Oh, the stun lands. Quick little trade. He tanks the turret though, so it's not as good or bad. Owen already forces the potion from Suda, and like the trades are looking a little rough for the side of final boss for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Cannon Wave stacking up here, and you got both junglers path and top side, so we will have a potential dive if Hootie isn't dissuaded by the Skarner being here.
Oh? Wait, Skarner's not paying attention.
Yeah, I was not looking. He was looking on the wrong side. Would be pulled out of that as well. First blood given over. A nice punch as well underneath the tower to take a shot and do a whole bunch of damage to Suda to get the wave crashed. Oh. And Hootie goes back on in and will find the kill flashing out to survive. 2 kills on the top side. Hootie and Owen getting it done and doing what they do best here.
Yeah. Oh, the flash!
They're looking for the kill. Goblin looking to chain it up as well with the stun, but will not be able to find it. The E will be just enough damage and a double flash forward burn, but they'll use all the summoners to find this kill on the bird person.
Yeah. Good bubble from Maltras. Goblin decides to follow it up. I don't know if he had to flash, but I think he might have needed to, just so that he could hit the Q for the damage and the kill. They do have TP, so they can just like try to push, kind of medial overextend a little bit, and then I don't know if Sloth can realistically freeze that. But there is a huge lead in topside, and even for this Lee Sin.
Oh,
I'm surprised.
Ryan has found Hootie on the side here, and Hami is on the way over. Will have the Warhop dash out, but doesn't have flash anymore. One more auto from Ryan will do it, and Skarner, quite the duelist, manages to take down Lee Sin, even though he's got that double longsword.
Yeah, double longsword versus Ruby Crystal, but it doesn't really matter when you're playing Skarner.
Champ gap, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a champ gap. More recently updated by Riot Games, so definitely it's going to be good. But Owen has this wave frozen, and Suda is just getting bullied right now.
Yeah, managing to take up so much damage with those punches too. Suda looking worse aware in the top lane, and will be forced to try and find some way to crash this wave, but with Ryan on recall, I mean, there's not much he can really do here to try and make this work. Might just end up suiciding for it, honestly.
Yeah, and this is the main issue. It's like every time he decides to go for, oh, I want to go for a Q here.
Yep, it's just a suicide.
He has to suicide, and he only got 4 of the CS. The wave is still might be frozen. Yeah, Owen is just going to be able to freeze that. So the EXP lead, the farm lead is going to kind of start ballooning in this top side. Plus, they were able to shut down the Lee Sin in the bot side, so the tempo was kind of killed for this Lee Sin as well. So the set is really the one standing pillar for this side of World Soup Center right now. It's all up to Owen in the early game.
Once again, up to Owen. World Soup, I feel like, isn't doing too bad in this matchup considering the elo differential, but Hamiya will absolutely be a big side lane threat here for this team if they can get these, maybe some of these grubs going, get some tower plates on him, and then scaling into a powerful carry himself. Sloth and Bird Person gotta be careful here. There is a Skarner in that Dragon Pit. They'll be able to just get a little bit of poke down onto the enemy bot lane and then walk out just safe.
Yeah. And like, yeah, even the CS difference in bot lane is just Goblin keeps nuking these waves, and since both ulti comes through,
Yeah,
Suda
looking for
still
the
has
silver
flash
kill.
though.
Suda will be fine for now. I wasn't able to find too much damage onto him there, unfortunately. So Owen burns the ult, but not able to find the kill, and actually coming out worse for wear on that trade.
Lee Sin is on the top side, so like if they want, they can look for a dive. Owen
They're
does
shopping
have a
for it.
spot. Yeah.
Nice sidestep from Goblin. Will find the damage on the Sloth as well. And now we got 3 people pathing up, so it could be a 3 versus 2
Oh.
situation here in the top lane. Owen might be in
Owen.
trouble, actually, as the slam will come through. Will pull him in, burn these cooldowns. Sion, nice
Oh, good
ultimate
ulti.
from Suda to find 2 of them. And now here comes the Sion passive. Hamiya has arrived as well. And shut down. No! It all goes to Skarner. Ryan does too much damage on this stupid champion. He will claim 2 kills in the top lane.
Yeah. To be honest, in the end you do get the kills, so it's not that bad. But obviously you would want the kills on the Irelia, if you could. Skarner is still a champion that like yes, you give him kills early, but he is going to like give you more kills later into the game.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that bad. They also get the grubs. Like Ryan has been really consistent with just like getting all the objectives.
Yeah, we do have Hootie running straight to this last grub. See if he can manage to claim at least one of these for himself. And has quite the buy. Ruby Crystal shouldn't beat
Oh, right.
1.5 item or half an item Lee Sin, right? We'll
Oh.
find out. He's got lower health. He's looking for the
Oh,
fight.
no,
Lily pushed
Hootie.
into the corner. Oh my god, it's happening again. He'll smite away the grub and flash out to safety. So they get 1 grub, but requires the flash being burned here on this side.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Ryan is sitting on quite a decent amount of gold. He got the shot down as well, so a little greedy. He still almost won that fight, which is crazy, by the way. But
Yeah. He
No.
did have the team rotating over, so I think he felt safe to
Yeah.
take that. See if Suda's trying to pull a freeze of their own, and I just don't think they have what it takes to make this work. Take a big
Yeah.
damage from Owen there. A little bit of punishment coming up from the
Especially-
set.
especially Ryan needing to reset, I feel like this is just an overstay if Ryan goes for this.
No,
Like
he
Owen
can't
has
get away
the
with it.
ulti.
Surely the Skarner doesn't get away with not basing 4 plays in a row. We'll see if it happens. Owen gonna find not the knockup, but will be pulled into the fight and pushes him away, so he can't actually land the punch. Doesn't take tower aggro as a result, though. They're gonna find the damage, and they'll go on a rampage.
Oh, it
Boom,
actually
dashing underneath
worked.
the tower, and then they get pulled back. Oh my god, the CC is perfect. Suda and Ryan make it work and get some kills back, claiming revenge here on Owen and Hootie.
Well, I be damned. God, like that is. Yeah, Skarner, ladies and gentlemen. That is a really lovely champion. It was actually really well played. They didn't even let Owen use his
Oh.
ultimate, and
And that's just a solo kill from Hamiya. Finding all the damage they needed, got stacked up, and then just a sick engage on the World Soup there.
we were focusing a lot on the top side matchup, but like Mia is just kind of smurfing in this mid lane, up 30 CS, got a solo kill. He was able to roam as well, so like he affected side lane. He's really ahead in CS and got a solo kill. So this is like kind of the perfect scenario for this Irelia. And like even if your Sion is behind, like Sion is not really a champion that you really care if he's behind or not. So as long as you shut down the set and like kind of slow down his tempo, I think it is totally okay. We see already Heartsteel already finished for the Skarner here.
That is a quick buy for Ryan there in the jungle, and just to make these fights even harder for Lee Sin if he wants to try and take him on. I mean, he's already winning with Ruby Crystal. He's going to do a whole lot more damage with this Heartsteel.
Yeah.
Do have him pathing over vision here to this bot lane play, though, so we'll see if I'm going to try and answer. Hootie is moving down, and World Soup's kind of hovering bot side, but they're going to go for the engage. Ryan dashing on in, but will not find anything to connect with. Hootie has arrived. They're going to throw out the curtain call to slow him down, but I don't think Hootie wants to go in on this. Does land the Q, could take it, but Lee Syndrome does not kick in, Hootie wisely staying away from the engage.
Yeah, his laners are pretty much 0 mana. Oh,
They're dashing on forward for the ultimate. Will pull back. Sloth there on the side. Wanted to try and get the bird person, but not gonna be able to find it. Nice kickback. Pulling on the 2, and Owen is teleported into the fight to make this one work. Hamiya, not long for the world, looking for something to dash to, but will not find the targets they want. Double kill for Owen. The teleport massive here into the bottom lane, and they'll pick up 4 kills on the bot side of the final boss.
Yeah, and really clutch TP as well. It saves Bird Person. He lives on 1 HP. Really close fight. It started off really good, but I think final boss kind of went a little bit too deep on the play. They do a lot of damage. They're not tanky other than that Skarner, so they are pretty vulnerable. Hootie though, he needs to be careful.
That's a lot of damage. Gets his Heartsteel proc, and Hootie's just chunked to half HP just like that. We'll be able to dash out thanks to World Soup positioning there. And we got Grubs spawning here, and Dragon's also on the map, so we'll see what both these teams opt for. Look like it will be a trade of Dragon for Grubs, Dragon over to the final boss.
Yeah. I did mention how like the Syndra was behind, but out of the bot side play, he gets the shutdown onto Skarner. He gets another kill onto the Brand, I think it was, so he finishes the Lunas out of nowhere. So the mid lane is in a bit more even state. The Syndra is able to at least provide a little bit more in these team fights from now on. In a lane where like she's already going to scale, and Owen is just he doesn't care about the Sion right now.
Yeah, I mean it's just Giants built Ninja Tabbies here for Suta, so able to just kind of walk through, take the plate, and now proxying the wave. There are some players moving up towards this top side, so Owen needs to get out of here eventually, but has plenty of time. Hootie even moving up to reinforce here, but here comes the play. Alter is dashing on in on the Namigo's melee range, will force the flash with the bubble, and Ryan is not able to connect any more CC, so just burns the flash, but makes Owen a little bit more vulnerable for the next play, but also not going to have the ability to flash forward aggressively and pull someone back into the team for a while.
I got scared for Altruis for a second, but then I realized Seth didn't have his ultimate yet, so he was able to force the flash out. Owen is looking to trade it.
No way! World Soup gets pulled back and might be able to turn one back and will find the kill onto the Irelia. But what an insane edge of the hitbox there for that Skarner ultimate. That was a close one as Owen still trading up here on Suda.
Yeah, if I didn't see, like, did Hamiya get like stunned under the turret? Because he just like stood still for like
I think yes.
Second. So it did look weird, but Impale always a strong ultimate.
Just kind of the expected dive. I mean, Suda not going to be able to do much to that one. Tried to channel the Q to dissuade the Lee Sin kick, just waits it out. Able to find a quick kill in the top lane and claim first tower of the game.
Yeah, but the bot lane is looking pretty rough right now. Ryan is already down here. They are moving World Soup just so that the bot lane here can move. Ryan needs to be careful. The bot lane wave hasn't crashed yet. I think it just did.
Did you find the root? Already burned the Jin root though, so he's able to just dash out of that one. And Wave is just being eaten alive by this tower. Goblin and Ultras take, I think, 3 plates off of that. So pretty happy with the gold swing in their favor. But first tower being down means that Owen's now enabled to kind of move around the map here. We'll see what he wants to go for. He does want to just try and play that side lane, continue to push down towers, but it looks like he's trying to group up here with Hamiya, just waiting for World to debate this fight. And once he walks into the stun to try and make that one work, doesn't need to bait him in for now. Stun does come through, pulling him back. Do they have the damage to burn through this Irelia's health bar? She is healing quite a bit. Dashes back onto World Soup. Do they have the damage? It finally comes through as the punch does connect. Owen goes on a rampage.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, Owen is going for, I think, which is Fullbaker. So he does want to match the Sion in the side lane. Because like he can just, as we saw, he just once the wave crashes, he just ignores Sion, hits the turrets, and with the auto attack resets that he has a lot of damage that he can do with Fullbreaker. Suda needs to be careful. He still doesn't have his first item yet.
He does have will just go unstoppable, yell cowards, and sprint into the horizon. So not gonna be able to find the kill just yet, but Suda's staying safe as they can and just trying to find as much CS as possible.
Yeah. On the other side though, like the Brand is looking really scary. Up 35 CS currently. Once he finishes the Liandry's, he's going to start doing a lot of damage, and once he finishes Rylai's, the team fights are going to be really just hard to take. Oh, we are...
Altis! Stunned up, Sloth finds the pick, but they gotta be careful. Ryan's on the flank here, looking for World Soup. Goblin will find all the full combo onto Sloth here. Will the burn be enough? It will. Brand claims a kill for themselves. Ryan not able to sneak that one away.
Yeah, I think Ultras didn't expect two people to be sitting there while his jungler was behind them. But we might see another dive here.
Oh, Bird Person, yeah, under threat. Flashes straight into the waiting arms of Ryan. That Skarner's too dang tanky. Happy to eat 4 or 5 tower shots, 6 tower shots, and able to walk away from that one. Hamia, nice little dash there to dodge out on the Lee Sin Q. As there's a teleport in the mid lane, they're going to kick back Hamia to the tower, who's not going to die just yet. Being chased down. World Soup will find the kill onto Ryan with the stun. And there's Goblin in the jungle. There's a whole lot of fighting here. That's a level 12 set against this level 9 Goblin. And a punch will seal his fate. Double kill for World Soup. Quick TP play in the mid lane. And its final boss just overextending, not realizing that these respawn timers were coming through, and they will just fall here in the fight.
Oh, really good play coming from Suda though. He takes the top third, TPs immediately to bot. So if no one really responds to him, which Owen is the only one with the TP, he is going to be able to pick up 2 turrets out of nowhere. So I really like how Final Boss plays around the objectives and the turrets. It only just comes down to how they take these fights. I think they get a good fight, but then they get like really non-patient, and then like they just force plays that they don't really have to. Oh man, they're just struggling just because of that.
Yeah,
As
a few overforces, but I mean they will be able to claim Soul Point here. It looks like, as it's just going to go over uncontested.
Yeah, well, they did lose last game with Soul, so because it is like there's I think another Chemtech Soul, which is again unlucky, I think, for them. Someone needs to answer here too. Owen with Woolbaker and Herald.
Yeah, they do have Hamia ready to answer, but I mean, that's a full health Herald. They'll send 2 down. We'll see what he can do here in this bottom lane, as Hootie is moving on over 2, trying to bait some kind of fight. So when we look for this one, we'll get full come on to Hamia. Hootie lands all the damage they need to make this one work. He goes unstoppable to find the kill. Suda can't land any CC to make that one, to find back any damage. The tower will fall. Now Suda's on the run. 2 members just smack him in the face here on the Scion. Doesn't have the ult to try and go unstoppable and get away. And Owen will just barely miss. A nice flash from Suda to stay alive here. There's tons of kills in the mid lane as well. It's all falling apart for final boss. Ryan will find a bit of damage onto the side on the way out, but they've already taken the inhibitor. And despite being these 3 dragons up, they are just not able to find the plays.
Yeah, and because they were committed so much to this dragon play.
Oh, Alteris is just dead.
Yeah, Owen knew he had the numbers advantage. Like, even if, like, in a 2v2, with how fed he is, Irelia, Scion, they don't really matter, so he's just able to force it. All he needed was Hootie to be around. I don't even know. He might have even been able to 1v2 them, I'm not gonna lie. But because they killed them there, it forces the response from the Skarner. Because Skarner's forced the response, numbers disadvantage in mid, and it just slowly, again, kind of like an avalanche where they're just kind of losing control, and the snowball is getting bigger and bigger.
I think the one hope they really have is going to be this Soul. And I know the Chemtech is generally weak, but Hamia was the shining light for this team in that last game, and now in the Aurelia with a little bit of lifesteal, this Soul would be so powerful to have in the side lane, and might even allow him to match up against Owen, despite the clear gold advantage that he's got here. 3 items already locked in on the set. It's going to be a long road back, even if they claim this Soul, as they'll have to deal with the threat of Elder Dragon on the map in the next 5 minutes.
I think the big issue that the Humia is going to run into is the fact that he's going Kraken Slayer second. So before he gets any tanky, it's going to be a long time. Like, I see like Aurelia players normally go for like a build like Stridebreaker Zerax. So that
Goblin eat the ultimate. World Soup is dominating. Nice stun to find the kill. Seraphine ultimate comes out as well, but they won't find the follow-up on Alteris as he's able to flash to safety. Turret will fall as now Owen closing in on the bottom side here. They got 1 member dead, and they're just dashing up towards Scion potentially, but they'll actually find Ryan in the jungle, steal away yet another camp, and they'll just claim this entire quadrant, forcing the Skarner to just find almost no farm in the game.
And to be honest, Rolsup has been really good on the Syndra. I think this is third time killing Goblin with the ultimate. Like every time he's there, every time Goblin walks up to try to dish out any damage, scatter into Q, into ulti, and once you finish your stacks with Syndra, your ulti starts executing. So definitely really strong.
It's such a range problem for Goblin. I mean, you're on the Brand, you're playing into the Syndra stun, into the Seraphine, into the Jhin. If any of the CC hits you, they're able to follow up so easily onto you, and you just see, I mean, turns out they don't really need it because World Soup's just one-shotting him on the side.
And I feel like, oh, wait, Ryan?
Ryan's looking for a steal here, but the CC will come through, and Hootie will go on a killing spree to make sure that no smite can come through on this Baron. They'll steal this one away. Goblin gonna get pulled back on in. Stridebreaker does connect as well. Curtain Call over the top to seal the deal. Alterus now will be tagged up. Can he make this escape happen? He's got no flash. Owen will try and chase forward, but won't be able to find it, and they'll just call it off. We can get these resets in and look to close up this game in a quick fashion.
Yeah. And I think the issue that Goblin is running into is that every time his teammates are forced to, Owen just forces so many people to respond to him on the sideline. Because if nobody does, Sion is not able to answer him. Because of the Bullbreaker, the cannon minion is tankier, so he's just able to run on their turret while no one's able to kill the minion, and he just takes these turrets really fast, as we see right now. And if there's no front line, then the Goblin's not able to do much, and
nice from slow. Owen's gonna find a kill here, but goes very low, getting pulled back. This is the penalty for the shutdown. Here is Hamia to find it. Goes over to Skarner! No! Another double kill for Skarner! Suna comes up from the back to try and find some CC. Manage to tag up here on the World Soup. Goes very, very low, but only Skarner can chase. It might be yet another kill. Yes! Skarner! 8 and 4, finding kill after kill, shutdown after shutdown. All the gold has gone into this tank. And final boss struggling to find something. A nice kickback. Might be able to find Ryan here with the next Q if he wants to connect this one. Hootie goes back in, stunned up into the wall, will find one kill. Gets a shutdown of their own thanks to Skarner claiming so many kills. What a flash! What a play from Hootie! Goes over the wall to make it one more, a 1-for-2 trade here in the jungle. It looked bad for him, but able to turn around with some quick plays on the Lee Sin.
Yeah, and to be honest, yes, 4 kills were picked up. 3 of them were on Skarner, so
yeah.
Again, we see the same thing where you can't really stop hitting them because you're behind. You want to make sure they die, but it's really unlucky that all the kills are staying on Ryan. Importantly though, Goblin finally finishes the Liandry, so his damage in these fights is going to be more, but on the other side, that's his second item on Goblin. Owen is 4 items in on the set, and he's pretty much an unstoppable force in the side lane. Now, it's up to final boss. If they don't answer to Owen, you'll end the game in around 30 seconds. So if I'm World Soup Center, I'm just playing slow. Just let Owen crash that wave, and if the side of final boss wants to flip the dragon for the game, I'm taking that. And looks like they're giving, so smart choice from the side of final boss.
Yeah, they could have tried to go for Miracle still here, but I mean, with the inhibitor down already, it'd be pretty quick to end the game. Hamia is trying to match up against Owen on that side lane, but it's 2 items versus 4 here completed. So it's going to be extremely difficult for him to find anything. As Ryan's going to spot Owen here in the jungle, Goblin is nearby. They're going to try and take this one. It's a very tanky Owen. They're going to dash on in. Looking for the suppress, they'll get the stun. Alterus will follow up with the bubble, but Goblin hasn't rotated over. He's just lurking on the side, waiting for Bird Person to poke his head in, and will not actually find anything as they just ward the bush before committing. Smart choice there. Goblin now on the flank here for Bird Person. Gonna look for it. We'll get charmed up, and Owen's on the flank now against Goblin. We'll get stunned up, slammed into the wall. Bird Person gets ulti, but it won't matter. Not enough damage has come through. Curtain Call to the top. They'll trade back 1 as Sloth goes down. World Soup rolling down in the fight as well. Owen on the side might have the damage to pull this one off, but there's 2 big beefy tanks in the way. Son of the wall. It's Skarner finding the damage onto Hootie, who's still alive. Barely. The Chemtech Dragon might have just saved his life there, as it's just enough lifesteal to stay in the fight. Ryan now, last one to fall, and it's 3 alive here in the game for World Soup Center.
Yeah, said we'll be able to just one-shot these turrets. And yeah, the snowball that happened in top lane early on with the dive, 2 kills going over to Owen. And he just never let Suda and final boss even get a single breath.
There's Lee Syndrome. He ended up. It just had took some time to kick in.
He earned that. He earned that. He
Yeah.
earned that to death. But yeah, overall clean game from the top side. Maybe not top side. Definitely the early game for World Soup was a little rough, but one mistake, World Soup got the 2 kills, and he didn't really make any other mistakes after that. So really clean game, clean mid game, and like Owen and Hootie were just monsters.
Absolutely made it work here, and you know,
Yeah, damn
game I say played to expectation. I mean, you did what you could, but in the end, Owen's pressure was just too much. Hootie doing a great job following it up, and have to shout out the Syndra as well for keeping pace with these two much higher ranked players. World Soup doing a great job in this game as well. But that'll be it. Final boss off to a 0-2 start in the league, and it's World Soup Center off to a 1-1 start here in this series.
You know, clean games. I don't know. Okay, not a clean game 1. Clean game 2. Game 1 was a little messy, but I would count as a good comeback. They were pretty in a rough spot, so they were able to come back one game, win game 2 pretty easy. So looks good.
Well, this has been Sulpan and Kral on the desk. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for next week when we got our next series matchup coming in here on the Summit stream. Have a good night.